Welcome back, Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy for you. And today's knife is the Olamic Cutlery Whippersnapper. This is a prototype. This is number 20 of 20. Here's the birth card, Whippersnapper, 2.5 inch seed foot blade of M390, titanium with a green anode scallop tie, clip titanium, and there's Proto 20 of 20, and it's also written inside the back spacer, and there's the born on date. And it comes in this little padded pouch. And let's get into the knife. You have this pretty attractive looking blade shape, kind of resembles like the CRKT Polar, except you have this comes back more, but kind of that same style blade. You have more blade length in the Whippersnapper. Nice satin finish on the grinds, and my camera doesn't want to seem to focus today. You got the Olamic Cutlery logo right there. Why is it not focusing? Whippersnapper underneath that. You have chamfered inside the blade hole, and you have a chamfer along the top right here, so nothing sharp where it doesn't need to be. And you have a very mild chamfer on the forward finger choil as well. This side's sterile besides the blade steel, which is M390, which it's M390 on the prototypes. The ones after the prototypes will be 20 CV. Pretty much the same stuff. And the attention to detail with a lot of Olamic's knives is just pretty amazing. Like, for instance, this portion right here is got like almost a polish on it. It's very smooth to the touch. So you can tell there was finishing work done after they cut this out. Just a nice little added touch. I'm not sure if these are considered a custom. I don't think so. I'm not certain. Maybe if Eugene sees this, he could chime in down below. It's got a lot better cutting geometry than my Busker. Busker, being that it was such a short, stubby blade, it wasn't the best slicer. It's actually getting reworked. The scales are being redone at the moment. And when I do my full review of this guy, I'll probably do some comparisons between the two. But for now, this is somewhat of a first impressions. I've had it for a little bit over a week now since Blade Show, carrying it a good bit. So this isn't a first impressions. It's a little bit after that. Then we're gonna close this guy up. And as you can see, this tab coming up right here, it is a front flipper, which can also be rolled, because depending on how the front flipper is done, if there's not enough sticking up, you can't really, because you lose contact with it when you try to roll it open. But if you want, you do have jimping on that tang that's sticking up right there, and it's not overly aggressive because they knock down the peaks on the top right here. So, when it is aggressive, I would let you know, because my hands are nice and beat up. So you can do a slow roll like that, kind of rolling it over the top, or you can pop it out. Nice actions, riding on ceramic bearing, ceramic detent ball. You can overhand it right there, and sometimes I can do this. You can do the forward thing over, reach around, which Frankie and Bird call it. So definitely versatile. And then you can also use that blade hole. You can spidey flick it. You can thumb flick it, or you can slow roll it. And there goes my dog, like usual. But overall, I think the reason that drew me to the Whippersnapper, even though I had the Busker, is the Busker, I love it. And until I get it back, I won't know which one I like better. But this one, you can get a full 4-finger grip on the scales, even in the back grip. With the Busker, you pretty much have to use that forward finger choil. This one is rather comfortable. I've done some ergonomic testing on the 2x4s like I normally do, and for the most part, it was pretty comfortable. I did get a little hot spot down in this area, but just my hands the way they are. He definitely does a great job of softening the scales. He has these scallops, but you also have a nice chamfer going on around this whole entire thing, and definitely soft and smooth. I was able to bear down a good bit. Didn't The clip wasn't bad at all because he does the same thing by softening the clip. Even though he has the scallops in there, he still does a good job. Even when I choked up, it was rather comfortable. I'm interested to see how it feels compared to the busker in the choked up position, because I pretty much handed in the busker as I was buying this guy, so I didn't really, do comparisons with the two. The action's really nice on this guy. I do need to Loctite it because I noticed it has, I made an adjustment to it and I must have broke the Loctite that was on it, so not a big deal. The centering on this guy is dead centered, pretty much like he always puts them out. Rock solid left to right, no up and down whatsoever, what you would expect. You have a large lanyard post in the back right here. Definitely could have done without that. That's not something I love. It just kind of breaks up the aesthetics for me. I do like the lines of it. It flows just nicely. You got this swoop up and it kind of has that organic swoop going on. I love the anode job. He does amazing work on his anodes and you can get so many different finishes done. Like I said, this is a scallop and looked like it's maybe been blasted, then anode, because you have that shimmering peaks and then you have that more matte look to it. And then it looks like you had more of a polish on the backspacer, which is a floating backspacer as well, if you can see that. Nicely done there. Almost full length backspacer. You have gold anode hardware, and you have a 3D milled pipe clip that works really well. And as you can notice right here on this one, he did do away with the detent ball, the ceramic detent ball going in and out of the pocket. He said he did that because, that's something that could possibly pop out of the knife, and he didn't want that to happen. So he did his own little take on that. And as you can see, it has like a nub that he milled. So that's a lot of milling right there. It's sitting on these two posts, and it works really good going in and out of the pocket. That it kind of acts like that ball, the way it goes in and out. It does have a little bit extra retention with the nub like that, but that's another comparison I'll have to do once I get the busker back. More than likely what I'll do when I get the busker back, instead of doing another full video on this guy, I'm just gonna do the differences between the two, unless y'all wanna see another full video on top of that. It's just too many videos in my opinion. The lock disengagement on this one is pretty good, but that's one thing that's gonna be changed. He said he's gonna be putting a little divot right up in here, kind of like on the busker, just to make it, because as you can see, you do have a chamfer cut out. If my darn camera doesn't want to focus today, let's see. You can see you got a little cutout on this lock side and just a little bit, but he says he's gonna add a little bit more because as you can see, it is flush with the other liner. I can get my finger in there, it's not a big deal, but he said I could send it back to him and he would add that to me. There's your lockup right there, nice and solid lockup. If you look inside there, you will see, besides the whippersnapper prototype, let me see if I can shine some light in there. I don't want to over brighten it. Let's see. Okay, I don't know how I can get this in there. There you go. Whippersnapper Proto 20 of 20. And you can also see that there's two stop pins in there. If you see where my finger is back there. See, you got a stop pin in the open position, being that you have this longer tang, and you have a stop pin in the closed position. And the only other thing that he could have done stop pin track in the inside internal stop pin track. And I don't know, maybe it's better this way, or maybe that just way the design fell out. He didn't have enough meat maybe on the tang. I haven't had this knife apart. I haven't really needed to. So there you go. Let's see, anything else? Like I said, it slices pretty good. It's around 20 thousandths behind the edge, which is a pretty big improvement over my busker. I think my busker was like either 25 or 27 thousandths behind the edge. And it had a pretty obtuse edge because, I mean, it didn't have a whole lot of height to go up. It says flat ground, and 20 thousandths behind the edge of the leanest portion, and it's got a 22 degrees per side bevel on it. So like I said, pretty good cutter. Definitely an improvement over the Busker in the cutting performance as far as what I've seen so far. Haven't brought it through all its tests that I normally do, but that's just what I've seen. Let's see. Let's get a quick size comparison, and then I will do quick weight, and then we'll do a quick size comparisons on this guy. Let's see, we're on grams. We'll start with grams first. 94 grams, and let's see, ounces, 3.32 ounces. So that's pretty awesome, especially being that you have no milled out pockets in the inside. It's all done on the external sculpting. And of course, couldn't be a video of mine without my dog barking like a madman. So there you go, apologize for that. Let's do some size comparisons and then I'll wrap this video up. First comparison, another knife in its price range, the Chris Reeve Small 21. And as you can see, the whippersnapper is just a tad bit smaller. You have a little bit more handle as well. Another one in this price range is the Millet Torrent. And the Torrent is a good little bit bigger, especially in the blade. You have about the same grip area of these two, except this one's wider in the handle, so I find this one to be a little bit more hand-feeling, a little bit more comfortable. One that's a little bit more people have, the Spyderco Para 3. This is a St. Nick's Knives exclusive. And as you can see, the Para 3 has a bigger handle and a little bit bigger blade. Another one that's very close in size is the Giant Mouse Ace Biblio. These two are pretty much identical in size, if not identical. You have pretty much the same grip area, and you have that same, area in the forward choil area, but this one is more of a dedicated forward choil. This one's not so much. And another front flipper, you got the Elijah Isham Obstruse. And as you can see, it's kind of crazy because you have a smaller handle on the Obstruse, but you have more of a cutting edge on the Obstruse. I'll tell you what, this blade looks like it wouldn't fit in this handle. Pretty big optical illusion in my eyes. So there you go. My overall thoughts, I like this knife a lot. I'm still undetermined whether this is going to be a keeper for me or not. It's all going to depend on when I get my Busker back. If there's enough difference between the two, I may keep both of them. But if there's not, then I'm going to decide which one I like the best. And I'll probably tell y'all why in the video. And if I don't see me carrying one that often, I'm not going to keep it because there's no reason. If I don't carry my knives and use it, then they got to go. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. Let me know what y'all think about this knife. Let me know what y'all think about the name. I thought that was kind of a funny name, but it's those weird names that people remember. So hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.